We're going to pick up off where we left off last week with Lieutenant Arif, Dr. Mountain, Cadet Vogel, and Cadet Cryo. Cryo? Is it Cryo?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, okay. Beaming over to just outside a research laboratory.
Oh, it's raining.
You find yourselves, after you finish the transport, on a beach with essentially waves hitting the beachhead relatively hard, as you find yourself now soaking wet from the ensuing storm.
Gosh, LT, I think we should have checked the weather before we came over here.
If only time was available. Here, you know what, Cadet? Why don't you simply hike your shirt up a little bit and put it over your head. Also, try not to move too fast. You'll get more wet.
Okay, sir. While I'm doing that, you dodge the raindrops.
No need. No need. It's just a little water. There's no reason to fear. How the two of you doing? Are either of you displeased with the amount of water leaking upon us?
It's just a little rain, and I'm not made of sugar.
Well, that's quite a good answer, Cadet. I might have to steal that and use it later.
Vogel would just smile at the reply.
Oh, Reef will look around a little bit and say, what do you think, cadets? Should we attempt to sneak around and gather some information, or shall we just not?
I don't know. How sneaky are you, LT? You don't seem very sneaky.
I'm not. I am not sneaky at all. I'm not a bad bluffer, but I don't think I'd be very good at crawling through air ducts. However, I know you said you were in the medical profession, but looking at that build, I think you'd be able to probably hoist yourself up if need be.
I think we need to figure out where. Do we remember to look and see where those deflectors were stored in this facility?
You certainly didn't, Cadet. It was quite the oversight, and to let this be a life lesson to you now that measure thrice, cut once.
Yeah. I mean, if we assume we know that's their target, if we were them, where would we go to enter this facility without getting caught?
I'm always a big fan of the dig under personally, but quite frankly, that's a little old school, and it might just be my nostalgia talking. Uh, I would, if it were me trying to steal it, I'd try to leave as little evidence as possible. So that means walking or going through as little as possible. So I would try to see what the methods were to establish a transporter signal through the building itself. Um, Out of character question. Are we Well, I should say, are we? Um, I'm guessing there's no actual. Are these spotlights or just visual range cones?
Okay.
I don't know. They look
Currently,
like
let me set the stage a little bit better for you. While you're on the beachhead, there is a sort of concrete wall that separates the beach from the actual where the complex is out. It is roughly about 3 to 4 meters high. Actually, probably closer to 3. And really, it's just to protect against storm surge.
Okay, so we're at about the size of a basketball hoop. Um, and these stairs are the only significant break in the wall, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And lastly, I suppose, looking around, are we on a public beach?
You don't see the telltale signs of it being a public beach.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to the chief and I'm gonna say, you know, I'll be honest with you, cadet. The old man in me wants to simply walk up and say hello, but I don't think that's a good idea, do you?
well, since we don't have any authorization to be here, probably not. I don't know.
We anyone
This
have a tricorder on them?
this facility isn't classified or anything, is it?
No, it's
I don't
not.
have tricorders. I'm already scanning.
That is a fair yes. Do we have?
You have everything that you should have for the OAT mission. So that would include like your tricorder. You also had some Type 2 phasers that were kind of kicking it old school, TOS style.
Those I remember. If I remember correctly, you said we only had 2, right?
No, like you have tricorders. Everyone, you should have all your basic standard away team equipment.
Okay.
It may be old, or like it may be an older version of it that was obtained, but
Well, in that case, Arif's gonna personally file away that Vogel has started scanning without being asked to, and I'm gonna walk up and say, "What are you seeing, cadet?"
um, reason science difficulty of 1.
Reason science. Take a threat. I don't think I have a focus.
Did you hit the button? Because apparently I'm having some roll 20 issues.
It says my connection to the server is interrupted. I rolled a 19, a 10, and a 16. I'm gonna log back in.
Yeah, well, I'm getting the same little red box message.
So it's a well, it's Thursday on roll 20, so
It's roll 20's version of it's not you, it's me.
yep. I noticed that roll 20 tends to have that problem on Thursdays more.
lot of people tend to play their tabletop games on Thursdays. Now, mine seem to stabilized.
I am just gonna make a roll to test.
I see the drones are still moving.
I'm moving them.
Yeah, I'm good.
So 2 momentum gain, there's a complication.
Just spend it to quash it.
All right.
So you see the wall is only like 3 feet tall. When you get done typing, what's the facility look like beyond the wall? Oof.
You have to go up.
Lieutenant, it looks like the weather control systems are offline in this area. And I'm detecting 4 humanoid life signs near the building, but they appear to be weak. I'm also detecting 4 drone like machines that I'm not reading in any database.
If the weather control systems are offline, is there any chance that those weak readings could be because of some sort of interference from weather itself? Or would you consider it more likely that we've got some injured people in there?
I would imagine that based on these drone like things, it's a good possibility that they're injured.
Understood. Is there any way that you can remotely um, either fix or take control of the weather controlling satellites? Maybe we can let Mother Nature do our work for us with the drones.
Well, the weather might work in our favor, LT. Raining pretty hard out here. I mean, it's might make it easier to get around without being seen.
That's certainly fair. In which case, we can scratch that. So, thoughts on getting past the drones? And actually, as I asked that, um, do either of the cadets look particularly nervous in this situation?
Not particularly.
All right, fair enough.
Jim, if Garibaldi watches for a few minutes, do these drones? Are there any pattern to the drones' movements?
Um, you're gonna have a hard time seeing them from your location. Just FYI, because it's definitely above your height, like a person's height. The wall is.
Can I do like a combat crawl up these stairs to get a better look? Or, like a pull up here?
The combat crawl will be like a control security opposed check. So you need to tell me the difficulty you want to set for that. You could try. There'll be a fitness security check, a difficulty 2, to sort of climb up and peek over the wall. But you would probably would have to you would only be able to maintain that for like one combat round.
Not really long enough to identify patterns in the drones.
Yeah.
You say control security opposed for the other one?
Yes, it is opposed.
So, Garibaldi, back to brief. Well, Lieutenant, I could try sneak up the stairs and see if there's a pattern to the drone's movements. Maybe if I can identify a pattern, maybe we can find a good time to sneak across without getting noticed.
I think that's a good idea, Cadet. However, I would like you to make sure that you are as cautious as possible. At the moment, you're more important than the mission. Keep that in mind.
That's not what they teach us in the academy, sir.
Well, sometimes there's a difference between paper knowledge and practice, and this is one of those times, Cadet.
Especially when you have Vulcan professors. They're always spouting that needs them anything.
Well, and I'm gonna actually look at Garibaldi in the eye, and I'm gonna say, as you've said, you're going into counseling. Do you plan on helping anyone throughout your tenure?
All the time.
Then who's to say who you'll be saving, or which path you'll be saving more of? So, chop chop, don't get caught.
All right. I'll be back if you hear phaser fire, duck.
Duck and run. It's a strategy I know well.
All right. Garibaldi is going to attempt that. I'm not going to move my token until I see how badly I do. Well, Garibaldi's going to try it. He won't know how badly he does until he gets there. All right. Control security. I'm going to give. I don't have any momentum to give. All right, I will give you 3 threat. Take espionage as a focus.
You're not really trying to.
It's a sneaky focus.
Yeah, sure. I'll let
How
you
about,
have
how about
it.
infiltrate? Would infiltration be better?
Infiltration would be better. But
Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, you're right about that. Really? Seriously? All right, I want to re-roll. I got bold security, so I'm going to do at least my one re-roll. Yeah. So I set the difficulty at 4.
I'll throw a threat at it. Well, you're fine. You get 3 momentum.
Oops. Got one on the table by accident. Come on, man.
As for their complication, one of the drones seems to be sort of stuck.
Phew, that complicates their life and mine if I'm trying to identify patterns. I will.
Insight security difficulty of 1.
I think my focus applies there. Well, maybe infiltration is a focus.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I'm gonna, just in case I need the reroll, I'm gonna throw a threat at you. And I do need the reroll.
Game 2. From what you could tell, there doesn't seem to be a discernible pattern.
That's unfortunate. Which one of the 4 is stuck?
And you can make out because it's actually shining some. You see 2 individuals lying on the ground.
Are they in Starfleet uniforms?
They are.
Makes that tell.
They're in
Where are
Starfleet.
they? Where are they?
You should see them on the map.
Okay. Ah. I'm gonna go. Garibaldi's gonna crawl his way back to our reef to report. LT. There's no pattern in the drone's movements. It looks like they're a pair of Starfleet officers unmoving on the ground near the central walkway. And one of the drones looks like it's stuck, sir.
Stuck. Stuck in place or
Yes, sir.
interesting. Was it stuck over the officers?
It's certainly stuck near them. But where it's at, if its visual receptors are pointed forward, then it's not going to be possible to retrieve the Starfleet officers without engaging the drones.
Cadet Vogel mentioned that there were weak life signs. Could you ascertain any sort of information of their status just by looking? Did they look pretty bad off? Did they look like they could last a little bit?
Can I spend a momentum, GM, for that, to the answer to that?
I will give you a roll for that.
I'll take it.
Insight medicine difficulty 2.
Could I possibly assist because
No.
I'm... Fair enough.
It's more of him recalling what he saw and making a medical diagnosis.
I'm going to spend one of those momentum for a 3rd die. Yikes.
Does the roll stand?
You know what? Complications can sometimes make the game interesting. I'm going to
Do
let
it.
the complications stand.
Do it.
The one where the drone you think is positioned at, because it's a succeeded cost with 2 complications. You're thinking that person might is pretty injured, maybe actually moving. The other person that you saw that you had a bit more of a line of sight on was definitely unconscious and didn't appear to be breathing.
LT, one of them might be moving a little. One of them may not be with us. That's the human expression, I think.
Nodding slowly. I'm simply gonna say, "Understood, cadet." Um, and I'm gonna step back for a moment before coming back to both cadets and saying, "Well, maybe I will have to agree with those both after all. It seems that unfortunately we might not be able to help these two, and if possible, if we waste ourselves as a resource trying, we might not be able to help anyone else. Um, if we can find a way to disable the drones, maybe that would allow us the chance to achieve both objectives. But at least at the moment, I am leaning towards fulfilling our primary objective and perhaps keeping blinders on to these secondary.
Yeah, right, sir. Cadet Vogel, could you tell from your scans if those drones were emitting active sensor scans, passive sensor scans, or just using visual detection? Any way to tell?
That's probably going to be a roll.
I don't think I can give you a roll on that for like a definitive answer, so educated guess.
It's hard to say whether they're using visual or sensors to detect for their detection methods. I'd have to get up close and study one.
Well, it'd be a little too late if if they're using active sensors by the time you get close enough. Your call, Lieutenant. We could try sneaking past, but we might be where. My guess we're going to have to be ready to go hot. I prefer not to.
Hmm. Uh, quick question. How, just because he's not here, how physically able is the doctor? Um, Not knowing his stats or anything, but just maybe a ballpark of how well he would do in a sneak situation or a fight.
The doctor stated he has the basic training for the Starfleet operational protocol, essentially basic security training, and that's it.
Fair enough. Kind of sounds like a reef, except the reef slept through a lot of that. So, oi. Well, Chief. Uh, I'm sorry. Well, Cadet. That must have just slipped out. These weird memories.
Yeah, no,
Um,
Commander Lieutenant.
I prefer Commander. However, I think you're correct. I think we should all wait, perhaps choose the best time to make a dash for it and try to sneak past. And well, if the drones spot us, I guess we'll also have more information, anyways.
Well, sure. We'll learn how good their targeting systems are, sir.
Cadet, just out of curiosity, would you think it's possible to attempt to hack into these drones? You seem to be the most science or electronic minded out of the four of us.
I think it would depend, Lieutenant. If they're remotely controlled from somewhere or have a central control system, a control network, then yes, maybe they could be
Well,
hacked.
well, if
But
they're individual units, that
if there
should.
are individual units with their own AI, then my guess is no.
Well, should we give it a try?
I mean, I would want to try to scan the drones, but it's, whether the GM gives me a roll. Didn't give me a roll last time for the last question, so. So if he didn't give me a roll for that one, it's probably not going to give me a roll to see if we can remotely control them.
The reason
That
why I
seems
didn't-
more involved than just what's their sensors like.
All right. Well, my guess is if we're going to make a dash across this field, it's going to have to be on this side because at least then we're down to 3 drones that we've got to avoid the visual sensors of. If they've got active sensors, we may not be able to get past them. But if these things are here and they belong to the enemy, LT, I hate to push you, sir, but we need to make a decision. I think we need to go.
Then I will follow your advice, Cadet. And hey, if it ends up in a conflagration, I'll just blame you.
Just remember, I'm a counselor, not a security officer, sir.
Yet, apparently. On either. Cadet.
Sure thing, Lieutenant.
Can we retcon Arif's first meeting with Garibaldi in the station, and can I just backhand him?
maybe.
But no.
When you mess with time,
Oh boy. Well, then let's do this. Cadet, you seem to have the most awareness when it comes to these drones. You've watched them the longest. Why don't we get ready to follow your lead?
sure, LT, no pressure. You guys think you can climb the wall here? I think we'll put ourselves. I mean, it's easier to get up the stairs, but I think if we can get over the wall, over here somewhere, and climb over. We might be better off. Well, if you're following my lead, how difficult would it be to climb up the wall and get onto the sidewalk, Jim?
It's essentially an advantage creation, so difficulty 2. However, there's an added difficulty because it's slippery. So diff 3.
Oof.
It's a smooth surface. So
No, that's fair. Once one person got up there, would the difficulty be lower because then you'd have people helping?
I'll give you assist.
That also is fair.
Can I give him an assist initially with a boost?
You can, yes.
You said fitness security?
Yes, fitness security difficulty 3.
Definitely don't have a focus for this. Looks like a pretty hard climb, LT. You want to give this a try? You want to try going up the stairs and being sneaky? I'm fairly certain I can make it.
This is still the 3 meters, right? The 10 feet.
Yes.
Well, why don't we give it a shot, cadet, and then worst comes to worst, we'll use the stairs as a backup option. I do believe that if those sensors aren't active, then well, this is a much better idea. If they are, it's really 6 and 1/2 dozen. But we'll find out when you get up there.
True enough. All right, so I'm going to go up. Since I'm getting an assist from a reef, I'm going to give you a threats to activate bulb. And yes, I'm going to ask for a stretch. No, survive. I don't think survival fits unless you want to give it to me, GM. But really sound like I don't think I have.
Be like athletics. I would give you, if you have a focus in mountain climbing, I would technically give you that.
No, I don't think I have a focus. All right, 3 dice from me, and hopefully an assist from the reef. Hopefully, I can re-roll one of those. Of course.
So, oh boy. So now I'm about to ask a big stretch, but since I'm giving Garibaldi a boost, and I am whatchamacallit, kind of being wary of the pressure that I want to put on him, to hope so it wouldn't detract from his climbing. Could I possibly use wood carving as a focus?
Huh?
No. No.
Okay. It was worth a shot.
What?
Oh, thank God.
There's a complication though.
Yeah, I'm gonna, unless anyone objects, I'm gonna spend to squash that one. I have a sneaking suspicion what the complication would be.
So do I, and I could do without you landing on me.
I could do without.
You succeeded. It's just there's a complication.
I could do without you breaking
We
my
spent the
nose.
2 momentum to squash. I can already see what the complication. I know what I would do. Yeah, you make it over, but the drone sees you. Yeah.
See,
no.
for me, I would have given a reef a broken nose with like a splayed out foot or something.
I was thinking more sinister, like with the shoulder. So, but
Oh, that would be painful. Yeah, that was 2 momentum well spent.
Indeed.
Hero buddy will look over and say, "That was a little harder than I thought it would have been, sir."
Rubbing my own shoulders, I'll say, yeah. Before me and the cadet and doctor attempt to make the climb, are those drones coming after you?
Not at the moment, sir. And that one still seems stationary.
That's good. Well, in that case, no time like the present. I am gonna hoist me up, and I'm gonna give a big leap up, trying to grab.
Garibaldi is assisting. Fitness security difficulty 3.
Okay. Could you please take one threat? Okay. Team dynamics is a focus because Garibaldi's helping you?
No.
That's fair. Okay, wish me luck, fellas.
Well, you don't. There is no assist, so you don't get the roll. Does the roll stand?
God. Yes.
You attempt to scale the 10-foot wall. As Garibaldi's leaning over, trying not to, for his cover's sake. You try to gain some traction, and Garibaldi's hands are just so slippery that the minute you try calling up, like you had a really just difficult time just grabbing a hold of him, and you fall down and into the wet sand.
Well, if nothing else, I do appreciate you making it Garibaldi's fault.
Well, since I'm up here, if they try to sneak up the stairs, could they get an assist from me? Because I would be able to tell them about the drone's movements.
Sure.
Maybe you should try to sneak around, LT. I'll give you a heads up on the communicate on the. I'll give you a heads up when it's safe to move.
Fair enough. What turning around, I'll say, and what do you think, Cadet, for yourself at least? Would you like to attempt to scale the wall with the help of the other cadet, or would you like to try to do the mad dash up the stairs?
Advocal just points to the stairs.
So the stairs it shall be. And looking back, I'll say, looks like you've been outvoted, Doc. Don't know what your vote was, but so far it's two of us, so I guess it doesn't matter either. And I'll start heading to the stairs.
I think since Brent's not here, everything should be the doctor's fault.
Yes.
I'm okay with this.
They move. So what are you guys doing?
I guess probably just, at least Arif is probably just waiting for the signal from Garibaldi, and then he's gonna essentially just try to mad dash to Garibaldi's location, while I suppose hugging the wall, or as close to it as possible. If nothing else, keeping an eye on the drones and using. And you know what? I just fell into the wet sand, so I know it doesn't hurt. So I'm not going to hesitate to roll over the wall if need be. But
To be fair, you didn't get that high up, so.
that is not the world's worst point, but Arif has chosen to ignore it.
I want to wait until this drone goes back the other way before giving them the. Well, depending on what this drone does, but I certainly want to wait for this drone to be headed back the other way before I call them up. I'd also like to move away a little bit. That drone looks like it's headed my way. Are these bushes I can hide behind?
The hinges are fairly tall. They're only about like 2 or 3 feet.
I mean, is it this? I mean, this is what it looks like on the map. Is there like a gap right there that I could hide in?
There is a little bit of a gap, but I mean, it's not much.
I would get down here and get low and hope this drone doesn't see me.
You set the difficulty that I have to roll against if you're wanting to hide in the brush.
Is that another control security roll?
It is a control security roll. You can set either like 2, difficulty 3, or like you're gonna hide, or go up to 5 if you really want to.
Oh, I set the difficulty and then I roll against it?
Yes. You tell me what difficulty you want to shoot for.
I'm gonna shoot for difficulty 3. I don't want to get too greedy here.
Okay.
Infiltration is a focus.
Yeah.
Threat for a 3rd die. Man, I don't want to spend that momentum they got. Let's give it a shot. Ah! Why did it roll twice?
I will take the first result.
Dang it. Oh, I got to reroll.
Okay.
Not that it helped.
You think you're hidden. Like you get into the brush, you're like, all right, this is, if you may take a little bit of mud and you put some mud, from where the, what mud you can scrape off the lawn. What are the other 3 doing? Well, the doctor just follows, so at least for now until he gets in here.
I think I'm still kind of just waiting for Garibaldi. Eventually, if he starts to take a little too long, I'll kind of try to edge up the stairs and maybe poke my head over. Try to create my own. Good timing.
Yeah, right now I'm kind of waiting because that one drone is kind of looking right in the direction that I was going to have them move in. Because right now, from my perspective, they don't really have anything resembling a clear path to the other side.
You hear the buzz sound of a drone passing really close to you, Garibaldi.
I just very still. Because remember, I think I have a good hiding spot.
Yeah, and they rolled 0 to see you, so
Like I said, I'm gonna wait for that drone to move on because I've seen it move. So when that drone gets, back over here and looking in this direction, as long as these others aren't looking that way, then I'm going to direct the rest of the party to move. Hey, just in time.
Indeed. Things are about to go horribly wrong, and
Oh,
it's great that you are here.
These things are moving pretty slow. Um, I'm gonna get on the radio, on the communicator. All right, Lieutenant, send one quick.
I'm gonna look to Vogel at that moment, and basically do the finger between us, basically saying you and me. But one of us is moving now.
And as soon as he does that, Vogel's just going to book it toward Garibaldi.
Control security. I will roll essentially a insight security against you.
Okay, I'll use momentum.
Assisting with control security.
Huh?
For Garibaldi.
Right. Infiltration focus.
Yeah. For momentum.
Woohoo! I feel like we're gonna need that.
Yep.
Oh boy, having seen Vogel take off, I'll whisper into the communicator to the chief. Time for another one, or
Quickly.
Doctor, move now.
I think someone's gonna have to roll for the doctor.
Oh, I thought he was here.
He is, but he posts on Discord. He's got no internet on his phone.
Oh,
There's a comma in there somewhere, like no internet, comma on phone.
oh, got you. Okay. Yes, I would honestly still send the doctor first.
So he's probably playing like I do from the Coliseum during basketball games.
No, that's fair.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
The difference being that we can hear him clearly, but we'll have to roll for him, I think.
I can do the roll. How many dice do you want to roll, Doctor?
What is my role?
Control security. You're rolling a 12. And you have a 1 in security, so there's no point in asking for a focus.
Can I use my surgery? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'll take difficulty. What? 1, 2.
It's a posed roll.
No, I'll take 2 dice then, with momentum.
All right, we got the momentum for it.
I heard you got 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do that. So 40, 20.
3
12.
successes. Just need the.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs
Assist.
assist.
I gain 2.
Nice.
The drone went into a feedback loop.
No, the drone went in against the wall for some reason.
Take down the communicator. Come on, Lieutenant. Now.
Understood, and I will book it. Or attempt to. I'm going all the way to them, but I will put myself here just to signify that.
Control security.
Alrighty. Okay, here. Could you please take 1 threat and I'll spend 2 momentum for 2 extra die? Dice. I have 0 focuses for this, so I'm not even gonna try to twist one. Oh. Oh my.
Oof.
Gain a momentum. As you are able to make it to the rest of your group.
Well, that's not a good sound.
The drone that's facing the wall is shooting at something against the wall repeatedly.
Can we see or scan whatever it's shooting at, or see if it's maybe a malfunction on the drone?
Inside security, difficulty 1.
I'll just roll flat. Ooh.
Gain a momentum. It's a rat. It's doing a really good job at evading all the disruptor fire from the drone.
Garibaldi looks at the lieutenant. Quick, while it's distracted?
Arif will simply nod.
And he'll point out that now that everyone's up and can see that this is the drone that's... Pointer, this... Look here, roll 20. This is the drone. I don't know how to do the pingy thing, so I'll use my arrow. So I say Garibaldi's best judgment, which is not always a good judgment, is now would be the time to make a dash across.
Well, now or never. Then let's give it a shot.
Huh. All right, we're all right. The party is following everybody's favorite school guidance counselor. I mean, Garibaldi. Uh-oh. And then we stop when we see the drones coming back. The hell?
What are you doing?
What do you think, guys? Like a mad dash to about there, maybe through these little woods and across.
Where are we trying to get to?
I'm assuming that this is the facility is here. What is? That's a good idea. That's a good question. What is this? Is that a door? What are we looking at here?
Do you find an interest? Just roll an insight security. Difficulty 2.
I'll give you a threat for bold.
Gaining momentum. The main door is over here.
Of course it is.
You do notice an auxiliary hatch over here. Appears to be some sort of maintenance hatch, but it is roughly about, it's on the second story. Or sorry, hiccups. In between essentially the first floor and the second floor.
How tough a climb does it look like it'll be?
Just as bad as the one on the other side.
Oh. I will point those two possibilities out to the lieutenant and look to my XO for his expert leadership.
I'm gonna look to Vogel and say, Cadet, do we have time for a quick scan while we're up here to see whether or not one of those routes is more viable?
I'll attempt.
Well, I mean, that one drone that's looking right in the direction of the door, I haven't seen it move yet.
You don't have to roll for it. I mean, any route is viable. It's just whether or not you want to stealthily climb up something or walk in through the main door.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting in that front door without a fight.
Quietly it shall be.
Unless, Vogel, now that we're closer, you think you can hack those drones?
Still don't think that's a good option. Vogel is not sneaky. I mean, she has the engineering score, but the sneaky score, no.
Any chance it could be done remotely?
We already tried that. That's a no.
All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though, GM.
I
Pretty
didn't
sure
say
you
it wasn't possible. I said not from where you're at.
Is it possible here?
Insight engineering difficulty 2.
Use the momentum.
You're picking up a very faint directional signal between the drones, as if they're communicating with each other. It was not detected at your previous location because it's not a very strong signal.
Do I think I can interrupt it somehow?
Or hack it to redirect the drones.
Right.
Yes.
Lieutenant, I am picking up a faint signal. It seems to be a communication signal between all of them. I might be able to hack it.
Absolutely. See if you can tap into it, and if there's anything I can do to help you, please don't hesitate.
I'll give it a whirl.
Control engineering difficulty 4.
Diff 4, huh? Will you take computers for a focus? Or communications?
Communications.
Sweet. Oh, I really feel like I need 5 dice, but I don't want to give them threat.
And doctor help? He has a good engineering.
Is your character fluent with subspace encryption and communications?
Probably not.
Garibaldi assists with security to help her pass the security protocols.
Sure. I mean, just asking if there's an assist available, that's all. Well, I have familiarity with imaging devices. That's might be helpful for those detectors. Drones on the detector.
Vogel is attempting to break the communication link and get past the actual communications that is sent between the drones to be able to manipulate it.
Is it time for determination spend there, Vogel?
I'm not sure if I have a value. I mean, there's one I could think of, but maybe. I still think it's really early for that. You know what? I'm just gonna spend 3 momentum, and we'll just try it with 4 dice.
Oh! Well done.
Gain a momentum. And yeah, you think you can manipulate their signals and direct them to a different set of coordinates. Essentially manipulate their path.
So I'm going to make them think that there's a threat over this way. As far as I can, that's in their range.
Hey, that one got unstuck.
That one is still occupied because its strike protocol has been active and is actually currently chasing something.
Well, if that's occupied, and those are occupied, let's go.
Let's go. And since we've cleared the area, do we want to grab those Starfleet officers on our way by?
Maybe they're still close.
Oh, there's 4 now.
Yeah, you just need to get closer to them. So you run up to the door?
Yeah.
That or unless we want to go whatever was here.
No, that involves that Diff 3 climb that I know Garibaldi can make it, but
Rest of us not so much. So yeah, probably the door.
walk towards the door. You see 4 Starfleet officers, various ages, all on the ground, unconscious. Some of them actually have disruptor burns, and they look pretty bad on a few of them. And one, there's a little bit of blood splatter against the concrete. And all 4 are soaking wet.
LT, want to at least move them inside before, since we're here anyway. At least get them out of the rain, sir.
I'm gonna go check on them.
There's 4. The closest one is insight medicine, or insight or reason medicine, depending on how you do it. Difficulty 1.
Okay. I'm not sure which one's better, but I need somebody to roll for me. But I can I'll just do a straight roll. I don't have emergency, well, unless this is emergency medicine. Would that count as a focus?
It would count as treating them.
As for treating them? Okay, then not right now. Then no focus, so straight roll, I guess.
Is he doing one roll for all of them or one at a time, Jim?
I'm gonna make it for all of them, for time.
All right, then
Sure.
can Garibaldi assist?
Sure, with insight medicine.
Okay.
Yeah. Gain a momentum. Doctor, all 4 have sustained heavy disruptor. One actually fell and hit the concrete and is suffering from a concussion, as well as some, bleeding at the temple. All of them are in various states of hypothermia and potential respiratory upset due to the conditions that they're currently in. The rain, along with it's a little bit more colder. So,
do I feel that moving them is gonna endanger them immediately or not? Because it's not, it's not like acute per se, but I just want to get them out of the weather if I can.
You can certainly try to get them out of the weather. It would probably be preferable to get them out of the weather, because if they are left here in these current conditions, eventually they could die.
Let's not do that.
Garibaldi, without even asking the lieutenant's permission, is going to start moving one. Look at Vogel and say, "Get the door."
Thank you. Over there.
Surprisingly, the door is unlocked and opens for you.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Thanks, 3PO.
Just give me a fitness security difficulty 2, and whoever's helped carrying, getting the 4 injured Starfleet officers out of the rain and cold can assist.
Vogel's probably keeping control of these things to keep them out of the way.
All right, I'm gonna give you I'll do the lead roll since it's fitness security. And I'll give you a threat for bold. And I will use that. I'll use the bold. And my assists.
Are you wanting to assist, Doctor?
Yeah. Can I use medicine instead for this particular?
No, it's a physical activity. But you got a
That's
success, so.
I have a good fitness.
What was the difficulty? Was 2 or 3?
1, I think.
Oh, cool.
2. Yeah, you managed to get all of the injured Starfleet officers out of the cold and back into the facility.
I'll stabilize them as I can, as time allows.
Hey Vogel, can you scan for the life signs in the building? See if we can figure out where these Artaki or whatever they're called are at.
Right, I'm on it.
What if their comm systems are down? It's not strange. There's no security alert going off.
I am having trouble scanning into the building as there are parts of it that are shielded, but I am detecting about half a dozen life signs in what looks like a conference room of sorts.
Well, middle of the night, there shouldn't be anybody here. What do you
But
think?
somebody are working late. Who are those guys?
The power's on. Is the power on or off in this building?
It is on.
Is there a computer terminal anywhere nearby we could use to pull a directory? See where maybe if we can use the computer system to find where the deflectors are at, or we go to that conference room and either bust in on a work party.
There looks to be like sort of like a partial oval shape like desk in the front. Appears to be potentially a computer terminal there. Like a receptionist desk, essentially.
Well, let's see if we can use it to find a location of where these deflectors are being developed at. And with all that's gone on, maybe some idea of why the security alarms haven't gone off.
So yeah, is someone looking into that, or?
Yeah, Garibaldi's gonna go. He will see what it will take, and then if he has the skill set for it, he will try. But yeah, Garibaldi will go over there and look at the computer. I should imagine he's got a few moments while the doctor at least attempts to stabilize those people.
You notice right away that the security system has been essentially turned off.
LT, that is going to come as a big shot to you, but the security system's is off. You want me to see if I can reactivate it from here? I mean, it'd probably be inconvenient for us, but it'd also be really inconvenient for the bad guys if this place suddenly got flooded by Starfleet security.
Wait, I apologize. Say that again, Chief?
The security system's down. You want me to see if I can get it back and running?
Yes.
If I do, you want me to notify Starfleet security there's a problem?
Unless anyone has an objection, absolutely.
I mean, we'll probably have to do some fast talking when they get there, when they get
Does-
here.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, or that maybe we can see what we can do about getting in and out beforehand. But if nothing else, I think it would behoove us to get this place cleared out.
Agreed, XO. All right. Garibaldi is going to attempt to reinitialize the security system. That sounds like a bad sound.
It would appear that you're currently locked out of the security interface.
Okay. Garibaldi's going to do a foolish thing and attempt to hack it. Attempt to bypass the security protocols. Because, what's the worst going to happen? It's going to notify Starfleet security. Oh, those sound like I'm not going to be able to bypass it.
When you attempt to, you get like an error code and a message indicate that the computer is currently locked out and is not accepting inputs.
Well, it looks like we're going to do this the hard way, sir.
Well, that'll just make it worth it.
Well, should we go for the life? We go check on the life signs that Lieutenant Vogel found? I mean, it's either the bad guys or hostages.
Let's do the hostages.
I'm kind of hoping it's the bad guys, but
Well-
that they don't have hostages, but that's my guess for the possibility on those six life signs.
Well, if nothing else, let's see. Can we try and get a better vantage point?
I don't know, Vogel, can you lead us to them?
I could try.
You lead him over to the conference room. It's on the first floor. And as you get there, you see like sort of this large window and several Starfleet officers kind of sit around, and then they look at you, they see you, and they kind of run up and one pounds, and you can hear like the face on, "We're fire here!"
All right. I'm gonna channel my inner rogue and just kind of look at the door assembly to make sure it hasn't been booby trapped. And if it hasn't, I'm gonna attempt to open it.
Inside security difficulty 2.
Now I'll give you a threat for bold, either infiltration or espionage for a focus.
I'll take espionage.
Okay. So that's I'm gonna spend the momentum gained in one more to squash. Is that okay?
Don't you have a
Oh,
reroll?
wait. I don't want to do that yet. I want to make my reroll. Almost forgot. I always forget my dang reroll.
Oh, no complication. 2 momentum gained.
All right, so there's the one I accidentally spent. Come on.
You notice that it would be easy to unlock the door. However, it would appear that the door has been booby trapped to where if the door were to open, the environmental conditions would kill everybody in the room. Potentially, yeah.
LT,
Yes.
this door's been rigged. If I open this door, it'll kill everyone in the room.
I'll rephrase it just real quick though. For it's the controls are hardwired to the environmental control systems, and where you can see they're set to overload. So
Okay, how hard would it be to disarm the trap, as it were? Or would it be easier just to cut a hole in the window?
it'd be easier just to beam them out, but
Well, I'm assuming that's not an option. But if it is,
Seems like a pretty good reason not to open the door unless we can handle that.
well, I can try to undo what they've done, or I suppose we could find a transporter pad.
you hear the faint sound of pounding against the window.
Just calm down.
Well, if nothing else, at least I think we.
Get him out of there.
Level 5.
What'd they say, LT?
Can you repeat yourself?
They want to save level 5.
I think he said you have to save level 5.
Same level 5. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. Everybody will yell right through the window. Stay here. Don't open the door.
You know, it's booby trapped.
No, don't open the door. It's booby trap. LT, should we go?
Yes. Yeah, actually, Chief, is there any way you can reinforce that lock just in case any of them get a little grabby without triggering the device?
No. I was just messing with them, sir. I think they know it's booby trapped.
Oh, okay.
Really, they don't have humor and sarcasm on your world. We're gonna have to work on that.
Hey, I've been on a colony for the last several years, as you know, cadet. For there, it's mostly gallows humor.
I grew up on a colony. We all speak fluent sarcasm, sir. But really, level 5, we should go.
All right. If nothing else, 5 is a prime number, so.
Alright, scene
Oh,
change. You go down on momentum.
I mean, five's a decent number, but I don't know that it's all so important as to call it as a prime number. Probably more better numbers than that.
Oh, there's certainly better numbers than that. There's better primes than that. 7, 13, 17, 19, easily. And that's just before we get to 20.
I
The
heard the
20s.
Earthers are really fond of the number 42. I don't know why though.
42 isn't a prime.
Well, then why do Earthers think it's an important number?
Well, it's been my experience that most Earthers are pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Because it's the answer to everything.
Doctor, you got young and you shaved.
Excuse me?
That's not the doctor. In the future, as one of your memories surface, a individual calling himself Vamel is walking you through what appears that the bomb that you recently discovered that was sort of partially disassembled by Minister Shoha and his crew, or well, his team. I'm not entirely too sure about your plan, but seems like it's your only hope here. But to go over this one more time, do not touch, and he's like showing you like this is a more completed version of the bomb that is currently active. Do not touch the quantum matrix core. Whatever you do not touch this component.
What happens if we do?
The core matrix, essentially, think of it as a trap, or a pit trap in a way. A very sophisticated one at that. It pulls individuals across time and traps them in the quantum matrix, enveloping them in their own little dimension. Essentially, there is no way out once you're inside. Once power to the matrix core is gone, the dimension disappears and everyone trapped inside dissipates.
Got it.
If you're going to disable this, you have to discharge the core before the bomb goes off. Assuming they have everything together. The easiest solution is to not let them get the components and finish the bomb.
All right. Well, let's say things go horribly wrong, and that they manage to put it together. Once they activate it, how long do we have?
It depends on when the activation timer starts. The bomb generates a field that protects individuals around the bomb, but once it goes off, it will pull everyone across at least the targeting data of what's set across the present and the past.
So are you saying that whoever's standing right next to the bomb, if this thing goes off, will be all that's left of humanity? For the humans that are standing next to
Well,
it.
the individual standing next to it, yes. It's a protection measure.
So the people that are going to set this thing off, it's going to be in their best interest to be right next to the device then. Yeah?
That is correct.
So tell me you know how to disarm this thing in three or fewer easy steps.
As I explained before, you would need to disable the quantum matrix core
Without touching it.
without touching it. Essentially, you need to cut it off from the power source, which is the antimatter core.
Could we just remove the core?
If you just remove the core, if you directly touch it, you will be erased from history.
The antimatter core?
The antimatter core, you would need to cut the power line first, or else the bomb will pre-activate and disable the safety feature, trapping everyone around the bomb and its intended targets.
So disconnect the power from the antimatter core. And that should disable the bomb?
That will disable the bomb, but you will also need to disable the sensors.
That's step one or step two?
That would be step one. Or at least fool the sensors to indicate that you're not a threat. It's designed to read Ji'Karie life signs. Unfortunately, none of us can go over there with you to disable it.
Okay, does that need to be done from a distance?
It can be done at the bomb. But you gotta make sure no one's tampering with it until you get the sensor to, or fool the sensors to think that you're one of us.
All right, so reprogram the sensors, disconnect the antimatter core from the rest of the device.
Once the antimatter core is safely disconnected from the quantum matrix core, the quantum matrix core will slowly displace and eventually fizzle out, and you can pull the quantum matrix core out and safely disarm the bomb completely.
All right. Can you be more specific on that eventually part? About how long will that take?
You'll know it's the quantum matrix core emits a very bright light. Once that light fizzles completely out, it's safe to touch.
Well, I'm more concerned with if we're let's say we're trying to do this in the middle of a firefight, how long we have to hold out before the bomb can be safely detonated. Because I imagine the people that are building this thing are not going to just meekly stand by while we disable their bomb. And if it was me, as soon as I saw Starfleet trying to wreck their plans, the first thing I'd do is, well, detonate the bomb.
Depends on the amount of how long of the eradication goes past. Given human history, it would probably be roughly about 15 minutes for charge up time. Any questions? All right, I'll go over this with you again, so hopefully you remember this. Meanwhile, in the past, as you guys make your way around, the turbolifts were disabled as you make your way to sublevel 5 through the building's essentially Jeffrey's tubes.
Took me a minute to find us on the map. Okay. Well, I know we've been getting interference before, but let's maybe scan for life signs and maybe scan for the bomb components. For the heck of it.
Doctor could probably scan for the life signs, and then I can scan for any pieces of the device we're looking for.
I can watch looking handsome.
And Arif will just stand there looking important.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, Jacob. That'll be presence plus command difficulty 4 to stand there and look handsome.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna roll it.
Is that a
Obviously, this roll counts for nothing, so I'm gonna use pretend momentum to get to it. Retroactively
good
using
sign.
my determination.
Doctor, you are picking up some readings of 2 life signs in one of the science labs.
Sir, looks like there's 2 people in looks like Science Lab 7.
Samian and then
Are they? Well, sounds like a good lead.
Maybe direct your scans there, Vogel. Lieutenant? Or cadet,
Yeah, I'll
sorry.
start scanning for any of the missing components.
Did we lose the Prax?
I don't know.
We should check out the science lab then.
Sounds good.
Are you following the doctor, or who's leading?
Well, I think Vogel was going to see if she could scan for some of the components.
I already just said we should just check it out.
Oh, okay.
I got an answer, sort of, so we should just check it out.
All right then. I must have lost. Well, then, yeah.
Make it so.
Let's go.
You guys should be able to move your tokens.
Oh.
Doctor points out, Doctor, you're kind of point to the, because you're not there, or at least on Roll20, the room where they're at.
All right. So let's I point that out to everybody. If they can't see it already.
Well, Garibaldi's going to post up by this door, ready a phaser, and wait for orders. That's kind of out of character for him to wait for orders, but he's going to do it anyway.
Is Arif with us?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Garibaldi's going to look back at the doctor. You might not want to be standing in the middle of the room, Doc.
No, that was you in the middle of the room. Oh, it's me. All right.
On your order, LT.
I am gonna look to everyone, and assuming I get the confirmation nods, I will nod to Garibaldi.
All right, then Garibaldi's going to open the door and poker his head around.
We are in combat. You open the door, you see 4 of those drones that you saw outside.
Quick, close the door.
We're in combat, so your move action was to open the door.
All right. See anything besides the 4 drones?
That's immediate, but there are 2 individuals more in the back.
Well, Garibaldi's going to make an assumption about the drones and fire his phaser at one of them.
Don't forget your phaser has the charge quality.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I can charge my phaser for area, right? It's been hit more than one?
Yep.
So that's a move action, open the door, my minor to charge for
It's an extra minor. So you've already used your minor action.
Move. All right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that's a momentum spend for an extra minor.
Yes.
And it's worth it.
All right. So I will spend that momentum for the extra minor to charge for area.
Okay.
Well, first you should see if these are able to be hit with area.
Are they?
They're in close enough range. You would need to get a lot of effects though.
Yeah.
All right, then let me see. Phasers control plus security, right?
It is control plus security, difficulty of 3.
Well, I need this to be good, so I'm gonna give you a threat and spend 2 momentum. Give me 2 extra die. I do not have a focus, and I don't have my symbiote for my pretend focus, so that's what I got. Here we go. Zap.
Gain a momentum, roll type 2 phaser damage. Oh,
Yeah.
Is that lots of effects? That looks like
That's a
one.
lot of
that's
effects.
you needed at least 3. Actually 4 effects. Or is it just 3? It's enough. That is enough to take them all. Yeah, you in one fell shot, these little drones go sputter out as you make your presence known. You gained 1 momentum off the roll. It will pass to them.
I've got quick action.
Okay. Who's going next? Unless you're doing a swift task, which you have to spend your determination or 2 momentum.
We could have a reef go and use direct.
We could do that. A reef?
I mean, I'm pretty useless in a firefight, but rallying is always an option for me.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
have you have direct plus advisor, so you could. Do
Oh, that's fair. I mean, typically my go-to is to order Garibaldi to take another shot. But
Nine times out of 10 during combat, that's what you want to do.
yeah, Garibaldi, go again.
All right. Then. Now, is this like for me? It's a whole new turn, so I got another minor, right?
No, you do not.
I just have the action. All right.
Yes.
Well, I've got 2 momentum. Is it diff 2 or diff 3 does phaser to stun this guy up front?
Diff 3.
That's same either way. All right. I will give you a threat and spend the last 2 momentum for 4 die. So let that go. I want to re-roll. Come on, re-roll. Re-roll.
Roll phaser damage.
Does Arif get an assist?
Yes,
That's-
he needs to roll his
oh.
assist.
And then he has advisor, which means
Presence
Garibaldi
command.
could re-roll another one.
Gain a momentum. If you wish to re-roll that other 0, you can, Garibaldi.
Yeah, might as well. So that's another
2.
momentum.
2 momentum gained.
And look at all that damage. Zap.
I'm spending 2 threat to keep him up.
All right, guys. Do we spend the 2 to keep the initiative?
You cannot keep the initiative because you already did.
Oh. All right.
He's going. This guy's gonna go like, Lasso, hurry it up. I'll hold him off.
Yeah, no, you won't. Garibaldi is going to yell back, no, you won't.
Minor to cover. Spending 1 threat to aim. Another threat for an extra dice. He aimed. That is a hit on you, Garibaldi.
Do you need cover for that doorway?
2 dice. I'm re-rolling 3. 2, 4, 6, 8,
Ouch.
9 stress coming at you.
Roll 2 challenge dice for the cover.
So 7.
All right, so it's 1 or 2 momentums. I should know these things, but I would
It is
forget.
2 momentums to stay up to avoid the injury, or you can spend your determination. But if you spend your determination, you keep the injury.
I'm going to. God, the rest of y'all are really bad at this shooting stuff. But I would stay in the fight, right? If I spent the determination.
I have a 3 in it, so I'm not bad.
It's better to spend the 2 momentum because you avoid taking the injury. You just take the stress. If you use your determination, you keep the injury. So it's a non-lethal injury that you're currently taking. The next non-lethal injury, if you have a non-lethal injury already on you, becomes lethal.
I will spend the momentum and hope Vogel can hit the broadside of a barn.
I am spending 2 threat to keep. This guy is going to go. As he is attempting to unhook. Ooh, he succeeds. I get a threat back. And then, yeah, I think he will spend his determination for a swift task. On the value, we, the Ji'Karie, must protect our people from outsiders.
They're not very nice people.
No, they're not. He is going to do a sprint task. And I'm going to spend another one to grab the device. No, focus. Oh. Oh. And he darts past his buddy and into an adjacent room. As you see Garibaldi. It's back to you guys. The doctor and Vogel get to go.
Doc, Lieutenant, we got a runner.
I'll try to cut him off, and I'm gonna try to cut him off this way.
Pain again.
What's that?
Okay.
How far can I move? Can I get like right here?
Minor will get you to there. If you're wanting to go into the other room, it's going to be a fitness security difficulty 0.
All right.
Oh, they're not there.
I'll give you a threat to try to get some momentum here.
Okay.
All right. So how far can I move before I have to spend stuff?
Even with the, you'll be there on, if you roll all 0s on your fitness security. Because you're still using your minor. You'll need at least 1 momentum to get to there.
You got this.
Well, I wanted to set up something. Is the thing. Oh, I could swift. So yeah, I'm gonna move just inside to kind of use this door frame still as cover. I want to cover this door, and then I'm gonna swift task to set up that if anyone comes through the door, I shoot.
So wait, what?
I want to move here to get the doorway as cover, and then I want to use my determination for a swift task to set up.
You still need your minor to do a prepare action. I'll double check real quick, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
I think prepare is a test, though. Let me double check that. That's the thing I gotta figure out. Because I thought prepare was a task and not a minor.
Yeah, prepares a minor action.
Yeah, prepare is a minor action.
Hold on, no, it's not prepare.
Prepare.
It is ready. That's the one I'm looking for. Ready.
Ready is a regular action.
173. I'm declared that they're waiting for a specific situation to occur before attempting the task. And the task is attempted when the situation occurs. Situation I'm preparing for is that if the door opens and the baddie comes through, I shoot. That is what I would like to do.
Okay. You're going to ready. Okay. They've all went, so Doctor, you get to go.
All right. I'm not really good at security. So, is there anything you guys think I could be doing? Not really. I
You
can't see
could
the board.
potentially get in close range and hypo them.
I'll do that. That's non-lethal.
Because you might even be able to persuade the
hold on.
GM to make that a control medicine roll.
Oh, that'd be a,
still be opposed security.
that'd be a
Even if he's-
long run.
Even
dude.
if he's doing well, how I would make the argument that since he's doing a medical thing opposed, it'd be his control, or it would be his daring medicine versus the person's daring security.
I
He's
don't know.
trying to hype him. He's not trying to shoot him or anything.
Yeah, but I hate to have to make that argument, but it's still in the context of a fight.
Yeah, it's just the hypo's the weapon.
Well, I mean, it's GM's call, obviously. I would make that argument. Because how many times you see in the TV show the doctor grab a hypo spray and, hypo a Klingon.
That's a good point.
Heavenly Star Trekky.
Though McCoy might just have a really good security role.
Yeah, but
Well,
Crusher.
he probably has the talent. Damn it, I'm a doctor, not a security officer. So
Right, but Dr. Crusher. Bashir.
well, Bashir was a superhuman, so he doesn't count.
I don't recall Bashir ever doing that.
Yeah, but you see Crusher do it a lot. You saw the EMH do it a lot. And we know the EMH stats.
At the time, when they do it, there's some sort of advantage of play that allows them to do it because they're distracted.
My argument would be is that the doctor is really far away from even the closest one of those guys to make it.
Well, he'd still have to fitness security to try to get up there.
What are you doing, Doctor? You need to at least.
Well, this is a matter of the of saving Earth and the Federation, so I will use. I guess I could attempt to use a phaser on stun.
Well, my question is, you're Vogel standing by in another room.
I'll go after the one that went away.
So you're essentially going to assist Vogel.
Sure.
Are you wanting to be near Vogel because that's just a minor action and you could, ready a specific task, or you could do a fitness security and move into the adjacent room somewhere.
You could just choose to assist me on my task.
Can I ready a hypo spray? If they come out of the door with Vogel as our phaser.
Oh, they're not going to come out of the door close enough for you to do that.
Yeah, I would just say move up to me and then just choose to assist me in my task.
I'll assist you. I'll cover you.
So you're moving up to assist Vogel. So you're ready in your task to assist Vogel when the guy comes through, essentially, which you'll roll a control security to assist her on the shot. Top of the round, because all players have went. You guys were the last to go. They get to go first.
At least the doctor didn't shoot me in the back.
This time. Hey, I was a different character made.
Oh, what to do? He gets into there. The other guy leaves his cover to get into the other room. Closing the door as you lose your line of sight as you're trying to take cover. It passes to you guys.
Question. Should I just kind of rally the troops?
Momentum would be good.
And in that case, if there's no objections, I will rally the troops.
President's command difficulty 0.
Done and done. Could you take a threat, please?
Certainly.
And focus in team dynamics.
Sure.
Cool. Let's do this.
Guy gain 3 momentum.
Oh, could have gone a little better.
Hey, 3 momentum's 3 momentum.
Just worse than 4, but I'll take it.
And I think we passed it. Let them see what they do.
I have no objections to that.
Everybody will shout out. We got 2 runners. You can see where the doctor and Vogel went. So you can tell them they're both headed their way.
Passes to you guys. So Garibaldi, Vogel. Oh, he probably would have moved there for his minor.
Metagaming.
No,
Wait.
he had his minor. Like, he needed to set something down. Like, he would have not been in the middle of the hallway. So.
No, if we're not running through the door.
No, he's setting something up. Like, they know they're outnumbered, so they're setting something up, like, or attempting to.
They have explosives and stuff or whatever.
Well, if we're going to charge in there, it should be Garibaldi first.
No, that's unless you were
Okay,
going to
I'm
do
okay
anything.
with
That's what I'm going to do. So,
Because I'm losing my prepared action if I go, so which is going to happen anyway because they both went.
all right, GM, can I get with my minor? That's not the button I wanted. Roll 20. Stop it. Thank you. That button. Can I get through this door with my minor?
You can get to the door.
It cost me another minor to open the door.
The door will open automatically, but
Okay. So I'm gonna run to this door and let it open so I can see whether I'm shooting or tackling.
he's standing right there.
Then I'm just gonna run and tackle him.
Pose daring security.
I'm gonna give you a threat for bold. I don't have any.
Spend that
have
back
any
at you.
Figured you would. I'm gonna use my reroll.
Hey. Hey.
I'm gonna spend 3 threat to activate his determination to reroll 2. Oh my god. Alright, roll damage.
Is that 2 momentum gained?
Yes.
Is an armed straight damage. I'm gonna go ahead and spend 1 to reroll. What is that? 3?
Yep. Ow. Well, you knock him down.
Why did that
he's
only
not-
reroll 2?
Oh, spend 1 more for the injury.
Well, hold on.
Well, he needs to roll 1 more dice.
Yeah, I
Oh.
thought I hit the enter button, but I didn't. No.
All right, still spend 1 more for the injury.
All right. So I'll spend 1 more to increase for an extra point of damage.
Because he already
already-
avoided.
Okay. Well, I don't have any. Can't spend his determination, nor can I spend. He goes down, and as you bull rush, tackle him into the wall, and yeah, you see blood coming off the back of his skull.
Whoa.
You just yell out, one down, one still up.
Vogel and the doctor.
I think I'll go. I can enter, right? I'm close enough? Question mark?
Minor to here, and the door will open. So you get
Okay.
like kind of in the doorway here.
Okay, I'm gonna point it at this guy and say, surrender now. And if he doesn't, then I'll shoot.
Roll me presence command opposed.
Ooh. I'll throw a momentum at this.
I can't throw anything. I'm out of threats, so.
Oh, hey. I should go more.
What?
Yeah,
Give me
we'll keep
threat.
some. We'll keep some in case I need to shoot. Oh,
Oh,
Game
apparently I'm
two.
good at the
Yeah.
talky stuff.
Roll. It's your command, so roll 5 challenge dice. Yeah, gain 2 momentum, but roll 5 challenge dice, Vogel.
Right, because it's X like injury for combat.
Yes.
I'm gonna re-roll 2.
Okay, so you're spending momentum, reroll 2.
Yep.
nice.
As you are there, like Garibaldi tackles, he's in the process of tackling, tackles, you run across the other way. The door opens, you point your face like, you say your speech, and he's sitting there messing with another case, where you see a bunch of like little drones sitting at, and beside it on the bench is, what you think is the component device that they were looking for. And then he just kind of looks, sees his buddy, and kind of holds his hands, not like in like an up surrender position, but sort of in like a non-posture, like he's not advancing any further. And this ends combat.
Well played.
Vogel with the stopper shoot. Vogel's gonna pull the technology away from him. Once everyone gets in here, that's the first thing she's gonna do is pull that piece of technology away.
Yeah, it's kind of bulky, and heavy. But yeah, you pull it away.
Doctor, we got wounded.
I want it. Oh, that looks kind of bloody.
To be daring medicine difficulty 2.
I'll take a momentum for cautious.
You have a focus. 2 successes and 1 0
Reroll. Reroll one of them.
into a complication.
Great.
The rolls are not with me tonight, so
I'll give it to you so you can have 1 threat for a complication.
Well, we got a momentum to quash if you want.
you can't squash you're treating one of the the Ji'Karie.
Well, yeah. I'll spend some momentum to get rid of the complication.
Okay, so you go down to 1 momentum.
2 successes, so that's enough.
Yes.
Is that enough?
Yeah, you managed to treat the head trauma and stabilize him. He's still knocked out though.
We like that. hit him a little harder than I thought.
Doesn't matter if we succeed or not.
So where's the device?
Not here. Safe. Your end will be coming soon.
Well, it'd be tough to do anything without the deflector array you came to steal.
This prototype was going to help expedite things, but we don't really need it.
Say that now.
Was he bluffing?
Does not look like he's bluffing.
You know, this was a lot of risk for something you didn't necessarily have to have.
As I stated, it would have helped expedite things quicker, but in fact, we're just the diversion anyway.
Since you've won, you wouldn't mind telling us all the answers, right?
Indeed, a diversion for what?
Oh, that wouldn't be any fun now, would it?
Well, if you're so sure we're gonna fail, then you know we won't get the answers anyway. So how could it be fun for you to go through this entire experience without the pleasure of gloating?
No, my only regret is I'm going to be trapped with the likes of you when this is all said and done. But if that's the sacrifice I must make, then that's the sacrifice I must make.
What other sacrifices have you made?
You're not the first species we've eradicated this way.
Well, since they don't exist anymore, could you please tell us the name of one, just for my own curiosity? That's one you can tell me, I'm sure.
But what's the thing that they were running away with? Was it the deflector array?
Yes. You should
Someone
take
get away?
this.
Is that what you're saying?
You should take this time and enjoy yourselves while, well, the time you have. I hear you being trapped inside the matrix, or the quantum matrix core is like being in the Nexus. A little too blissful, if you ask me.
Arif will perk up with that one. And what do you know of the Nexus?
It's not my field of study.
Oh, that's unfortunate. For a moment there, I thought you might have been of some help.
All
I
I know
apologize.
is, all I'm told is some sort of blissful purgatory.
Well, I must point out that if you are to be in purgatory, blissful purgatory sure sounds like one of the better ones. Wouldn't you say?
I suppose, but
I'm just trying to establish at least a base of a connection between us, and I think we can agree that the Nexus is a wonderful place.
your words, not mine.
Okay. Well, in which case we'll go with mine.
So what's the plan, guys? What are you doing next?
Well, we should probably bring these two back to the hideout.
The hideout.
When did
Can we easily do that?
I'm gonna find a transporter room.
Yeah. I think that.
I mean, we can go back to our beam out site, but we gotta rescue those guys that are in that from.
That is true. I wonder.
We gotta stop the device. Don't we?
What'd you say, Doc?
Don't we have to stop the device? Like, are they gonna launch it soon or something? Since these guys are the distraction.
What are the odds the device is here?
I have no idea. Astronomical.
Wait a minute.
If they needed something from here, odds are I'd say the device isn't here.
Unless they were planning on setting it off here.
That's true. We should. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I don't know how likely it is, but these guys weren't planning on sacrificing themselves, because if they were setting off the bomb soon, they'd have to be somewhere where the.
Nearby, yeah.
Let's search these two Yahoos for any communication devices or unique tools and things like that. What these guys got on them?
Which guy are you searching?
We'll start with the unconscious guy since he can't fight back.
You start. I will let Arif assist, but actually, Vogel, were you pointing your weapon at him? That guy?
Who? Yeah.
I will count that as a ready action, so you'll get to go first. The minute you see him like move towards his buddy, he gets up and tries to make a dash for Garibaldi.
Yep, shooting.
Are you little?
Control security difficulty of 3.
Use the momentum we have. I don't want to give you threat here either.
Do it. Do it. You know you want to.
I don't.
Coffers are low.
No, I know they're low, and I want them to remain low because if I do enough damage here, you can't save them. But you have determination for this guy, don't you?
I had to spend. You had to spend threat. I had to spend threat to use their determination. I've already spent the threat to use their determination on both guys, just so you know. So.
Oh, you already did?
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 threat. I need to hit.
Oh, since you can't do it.
I hit.
Yep. Roll damage.
Ooh.
That's just enough. He gets up. Vogel instinctively, you shoot, and he falls down on the ground unconscious.
Your boy looks up back over his shoulder. Thanks, Vogel.
All right, seriously, we can't remain here all day. Eventually, Starfleet security is going to come looking around, and I don't think we want to be stuck in here when they do.
Well, we can search these guys when we get back to the bar.
Doctor, help me put this piece back, and then let's try to start heading back.
Absolutely.
The two of you put the piece back in its sort of containment, like essentially
Oh,
the
don't
test
touch that.
apparatus that it was in.
And I say we should get back to the hideout and maybe just cause a security alert and let Starfleet handle the cleanup.
I can agree with that.
Let's get Tweedledee and Tweedledum here back.
So you're moving to this location to where you can beam out of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then we'll take the two guys and the, because they had their own, and anything they were carrying that wasn't the thing they were stealing. So we're not leaving any futuristic tech behind, as it were.
There's a drone a case that has several of those drones that you encountered earlier.
Yoink.
Take those.
It currently has it has only 4 in them. There's essentially spots for 4 unused, or ones that were 4 more should be at. So there's only 4 in the case.
As we're headed that way, your body is with a guy over his shoulders, like, "Hey, see if you can deactivate those other drones from that control thing."
Should still have control of them.
Anyway, to wrap things up, because we are on a little bit of a time schedule. You get back to the hideout after Aurora beams you over. You see sort of Captain Prax sitting over there with another guy on the ground, currently bounded. Lieutenant Arif. And she can't wait. See, you've had better luck than we did.
Oh, that's yet to be determined.
Well, I mean, we're outscoring them, XO. We got 2 prisoners to their 1.
Yeah, but if our prisoners are meaningless, then it won't really help anyone, will it? So let's not worry about the score right now and just worry about us versus them.
Sure. You come from one of those worlds that gives out the participation trophies, don't you, sir?
Let's focus, cadet. We'll have time for banter, I'm sure, in the many years that we give ourselves.
We can explore egos later on, cadet.
Sure thing. Anybody know where the bomb is?
Well, my captive has gone quiet, and the stuff we found on him, well, it's pretty much useless unless you have their appropriate DNA, and unfortunately, there's another added layer of security to their devices.
Of course.
Oh, now that we got these guys back to the hideout, let's strip these guys down and see what they got on them.
You do that, and you only find like a small, like little data pad, about the size of like a large cell phone.
Vogue, you think you could use this to track them down?
If I could break into it.
Well, we got their DNA.
I mean, good luck.
I mean, these guys said that their attempt to get the deflector from Okinawa was a diversion. It would speed things up. I feel like
it's possible. I mean, depends on what kind of deflector it was. But those micro deflectors can also be found on shuttlecrafts. So unless they're attempting to steal a shuttlecraft, which that would get them also the other final component.
Well, ma'am, if they're to be believed, they didn't need this piece that they were stealing. Now they could be lying, but I wouldn't bet the future of the Federation on it.
Do you attempt to unlock one of the data pads?
Yep.
You essentially kind of do something similar you did with the other ones. You use a little bit of their DNA. It lights up and activates, but there's apparently a sort of another activation layer.
Can I find a way around that?
It's sort of like almost like a numeric passcode.
Can it be bypassed?
Or an algorithm written for it to find it?
That will be an extended task.
Sure.
I do not have one created for you, though.
What?
That's supposed to be for the crossover.
Right.
Aurora kind of walks over to where Mandrock is at.
So Vogel will say, I'll get started, but it will take some time.
Cadet Nadan and Lieutenant DeGrasse are upstairs in the pub. If you need their assistance.
Yes, I figure this is very important. And Vogel will head up and go grab him.
Aurora speaks up. Commander Prax, we're detecting Starfleet Security there's an alert. There appears to be another break-in at a Federation facility in Eastern Europe.
What kind of facility?
It appears to be for experimental small scale or small form flight craft.
Flying into space or something?
They'll have a spacecraft. They'll have a deflector array.
Or antimatter?
And with that, this will be to be continued for the crossover with the expedition crew on Saturday.
What time is that?